Hello, I'm Steve Mulligan. Hello. Do you want to introduce it, Paul Ray?
No, I'm just saying, are you guys actually on the film itself, a pause, or are you actually just on the...
I'm on 000.
There we go, that's what I was going to ask.
I'm confirmed.
Hello, I'm Stephen Monkey Mason. Right, this time. I'm joined once again with Paul Ray and Carl. We've just done Turtles 3 tonight, and we've decided I wanted to do a film that I've owned for a while called The Damn Sea Vampires. And as my solo podcast, I've been doing a lot of creature features like The Evil Beneath the Loch Ness and The Loch Ness Terror. And it's great to have Paul and Carl on here. The thing is, Paul and Carl have no idea what they're about to fucking watch. And when Paul says, well, I'll try and do it with you, in watching a film, I'm not talking about sexual content here, I'm on about, like, Paul was right, I'll see if I can find a copy somewhere, and nowhere was streaming it. But then we realised it was on YouTube, so you can watch this one on YouTube, and we're about to watch it. I'm about to press play, counting back from 3 to 1. So 3...
Is it on the 1?
2... It's on the 1. 1.
1.
There we go. Now, obviously it's on YouTube. It's mental that a full film's just been dumped on there.
It's on sale 24 hours.
Right, you guys know they've just seen before. Must have been the original title, because if you guys seen before when I took a screenshot, it looked like subtitle font at the bottom of the screen for The Damn Sea Vampires, that it's also called. So you guys...
not confused, like, but you could tell what kind of film it was when it got renamed.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think this will be really good to do, actually, because, again, we get to show...
Is that Jonathan Lipnicki? Isn't he from Little Vampire and stuff like that from the 90s or 2000s?
I believe there's a few famous people in this. I mean, I don't think it's... I might be wrong, but I'm sure Mr. X is in from the X-Files.
Right. I just said Jonathan Lipnicki. I was recognising him. I'm sure it's that kid they ever fought.
Something for Glenn Hunter. I know a DJ called Glenn Hunter, loves the song Bridget the Midget. So, oh yeah, it's come back to us. I first seen this, I remember one of my mates was around and he says, oh, I put on Amazon Prime, and I didn't have it. And he signed in, and I wasn't really much interested, I was just floating by. And as I say, I'm always a sucker for a fucking creature feature. And that's the first time I've seen this. And then I seen it, it's been released on DVD as The Damn Sea Vampires. Here Comes Deep SH. It, like, there's a wave going over the shit. That's so weird. But yeah, it's a 15 rated.
So is this a TV movie, or because it's a TV movie, or is it like, like just a, what is it like? I've never even heard of it.
Well, it's I mean, it's obviously. I mean, have you guys all got foreign language subtitles?
I have. I'm trying to look at it. I think you can turn them up, but I'm trying to figure out what
I think it's actually on the copy itself.
It's on the car, yeah.
Because I have the subtitles on top of subtitles.
Yeah.
So no, I've seen this a couple of years ago. I mean, I think it comes along the era of Sharknado and stuff like that. I think that's where it's from. It's been given a release, but when I seen this, I nearly fell off my fucking chair watching it. Like, I didn't realise what I was watching for a while.
I mean, TV movies are bad. I mean, obviously you've got the Sharknadoes and stuff like that. They get worse, every single one of them, but still watch them just for a bit of fun, don't you? Like a sci-fi channel.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think the biggest factor for me, even if you go from TV film, is that as long as the people who are involved understand what they're making. So there's nothing worse than trying to find someone who's got a pretty low budget, pretty terrible idea, but is trying to make a masterpiece. It's cringing. But whereas with Sharknado, I mean, I only watched the first 2. And to be honest with you, I found them highly entertaining purely from the fact that they knew from the get-go what they were making. This was never meant to be a great blockbuster film, and that's what makes it work. Now, obviously, I did stop at number 2. I thought it was getting a little bit like, okay, you can, if they're having a joke and running the same joke over and over, it's going to get worse. Yeah. So with the third one, like that for TV films, I feel like it works, but sometimes not so much, I guess.
Well, you guys are going to be able to follow this better than me, because I can't really hear the audio, but you guys can fill in the plot a bit. But it's a family couple in it.
I've got my English subtitles on mine so I can read at the same time.
I've just got too much.
Mine on English subtitles, like.
No. It's foreign on a film, but I've got English subtitles actually on YouTube.
Oh, right, okay, so, well, I'm watching YouTube, and obviously, I've not...
No, you just turn it on. You turn the caption on.
No, we're watching on the PlayStation, that's the problem. It gets a bit dodgy with the PlayStation.
Because if you go to, like, just press, the normal, like, enter button, go to
right,
CC, closed caption, there you go.
Oh, but if you're playing, like, a karaoke film, I can't be watching that, like... I don't mind like the way the foreign subtitles are on the screen, but when it's rolling like a karaoke song.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it these days.
Yeah, fair enough, like, but.
So it's actually called The Dawn Sea Vampires.
The Dawn. Is that because Dawn more of a bad word?
I thought it was double M, but it's actually an N.
No.
The Berlin Sea Beast. See, again, thinking about this would be a Nessie movie.
In Berlin. No, this isn't Jaws 3D, is it?
Would be surprised. I mean,
that masterpiece should be untouched.
I've got a soft spot for the film just for Leah Thompson and Dennis Quaid. I love Dennis Quaid.
Leah Thompson, what's she up again?
Back to the Future? No, it's not Back to the Future, and that's Howard That Duck.
Oh, of course, I knew the name, I just didn't.
And that Dennis film.
Oh man, it's worse. It's worse, man. It's the guy who directed the Anaconda 3 and 4.
I noticed that. I noticed it also said Anaconda as in plural. So like literally, is it like a gaggle of anacondas?
The first one was a proper Sony film and it had the theatrical release.
So did the second one. So did the second one. Came with the pictures.
The first one have Ice Cube in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Jennifer Lopez as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Starts is in it. Danny Trejo's in it.
Who's in this?
Everything.
Who's in this?
Eric Stoltz is in this.
No, Anaconda.
Oh, right, man.
Right, so they're playing on the mysterious figure because obviously you realise someone's just been attacked there.
Yes.
It looked more like a black bin liner.
Well, this is where we're going to have, at first it starts off with potential, like you're going down there, they're wanting gold.
Yeah.
At least they're doing some underwater footage. The Evil Beneath the Loch Ness, they just called it Wet to Dry and just acted like they were walking in water.
Like Tremors, I don't know, the other Tremors one that came out where it's supposed to be like ice, but it's actually just sand.
Well, considering it's all filmed in South Africa and it's meant to be the Arctic Circle, then yeah.
All sweating and stuff.
Hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
Cold day in hell and say, oh, it's the hottest day in the year. Like, what?
We'll have to see that.
Just decisions like that, man. Why make it hard for yourself? If you can only find, like location in that sort of place, fucking work with it. Don't try and make it hard by going from a completely different element.
Yeah.
So this film, to be honest with you, it's not too bad on YouTube. It is a bit smooth in areas. So basically, some guys teamed up to go out with this family. One of the divers has been killed. And getting chased.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I'm going back on one of the goofs here because I've just noticed it as well. So, whereas they're supposed to be out in the middle of the ocean, but you could see like docks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Near them. So it's like, if you're going to pretend to be in the middle of the sea, like.
There you go, fade to black. So that's TV. That's when the adverts would have rocked in.
Yep.
So I think these are contemplating the dad's died, or the other worker. I think he's his dad.
Yeah.
Is this a Canadian film or something?
Yeah, a lot of films like this get shot on the Vancouver side of stuff, don't they? So I was convinced that Steve Williams was in it, the guy from the X-Files, but I'm trying to work out what film it is now. It's one of these shitty little horror films I've got.
Can't help but think that gun next to the two kids sitting there is going to come into play somehow.
Ooh.
I don't think films like this are that bad until like they really just cheap out with the special effects, really.
Yeah.
Where did you pick yours up, Mason? Was it Poundland?
No, I think
Surely it was HMV.
well, no, I think it was a charity shop. I think.
No, they were Gannon.
I mean, it's
Oh my god, that's one thing I miss is charity shops. I miss it so much, and car boot sales.
I need to do more car boot sales, like.
that's not going to
No,
happen.
wait.
Not even a great charity shops in our area, but car boot
We
sales.
should do a car boot sale.
It's not going to
Do
happen.
a vlog.
No, it would be like 2 years' time.
Yeah.
What, when you decide to
It'd
sell
be
all your new
interesting,
shit?
That would be an interesting video, wouldn't it, if you did like a vlog? So, Mason, you're going to record it, right? But what you'll do is we'll all agree that we've all got, like, say, £10.
Yes.
We have to try and, like, get the most stupidest or unique or, you know, just have to, like, do something with that £10. And I think it'll be quite funny to see what we'll get up with.
I don't think.
That's absolutely.
I was gonna say, I don't think I'd go to a
like,
boot sale and spend £10. I'd be like, I normally do 2 laps, and then the second time around, I just gone fucking nuts.
How about, yeah, I mean, like, said that be all like the movie related stuff, like a finished toy or something out some movie related, and then people have to like vote or guess or ask for someone or Stedman or someone to say what is the best out of all these, and that would be the winner. What a good idea!
Yeah. I reckon we'll do something like that.
I fucking hate
Oh,
people.
good.
How much is that, mate? Oh, it's 50 quid on eBay. Right, it's a fucking boot sale.
I'm good at bargaining people down.
I mean,
my dad was a master.
have,
of that, like,
have you guys ever seen a better set than that? Have you seen that, the set?
It's so empty.
No, well, look at the ball. Just just MDMF.
Just a, yeah, because I'm not with the flag. I'm thinking, what's that flag?
Yeah, what's a flag from anyway?
I don't know, but that's definitely not that fucking house she's just walked out of.
Cinema magic.
Oh.
Is that what they big?
I mean,
She's just gonna walk into the water there, like. Oh.
someone just told her to keep walking, and then she realises that she got a turn or something. Crap.
I mean, to me, I've been involved in quite a lot of low budget films and stuff like that, but like, sometimes it's like, to me, I look at it and going, right, I'd rather not have it, because like, less is more, like what did Spielberg teach us with Jaws, you know, less is more when it comes to stuff like this. But sometimes people want a monster straight away, but sometimes I think the score, and I'll be like horror movies like this would really, if they just sat back and went, oh yeah, it's really, really cheesy, but then look how well John Carpenter stuff's played over time, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, from The Thing by going, dun dun, dun dun, and this is just like...
I mean, when you mentioned Jaws there, I mean, the character in itself was the music for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, the music was the intensity of that film. Had nothing to do with the fact that the scary shark was there.
Because obviously, when you went in to see John Williams said, "Alright, I've got your score for you." Dum 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 dum. He goes, "Is that it?" But that's so great. And I hate
Definitely
crabs.
right when you say less is more, like.
But like I was saying, like I watched that movie the other day, The Loch Ness Terror, and it starts off and it's all happening at Loch Ness, which they just shot it all in Canada. There was never any fucking attempt to do in Scotland. And within the first 5 minutes, the Loch Ness Monster just waddles along the beach like, who are you? And just fucking attacks these people, and you're like, it's fucking not even 5 minutes old, the movie, and you've seen the whole creature?
Is it like really bad CGI?
Oh, aye.
Have we got a really decent Loch Ness Monster film now?
No, Ted Danson's...
Dancer?
That's not a good film. I discussed this. The only way to do a good Loch Ness Monster movie now in this reality would be to do a found footage film of it, and sort of someone got isolated on a boat or something like that. And
I remember when those found footage films came out, everyone did them. George Romero, like Diary of the Dead. I was like, oh no, and that was absolutely terrible. You get a bit sick of the found footage stuff, I think. But yeah, you're right, because no one did it for quite a while.
Well, like I say, Blair Witch did it, and everyone went fucking mental. So
yeah. I think wasn't Ninja Turtles made loads of money, but Blair Witch was made more money, I think, than Ninja Turtles, and that was an independent film.
yeah, I think the independent I think it goes Halloween, and then it wasn't touched until Turtles. Then Blair Witch won it after that.
yeah.
So what's happening now? Is selling off the house?
I think they're trying. I think they're doing an auction thing where you can you have the right to scavenge certain bits of land and sea and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Because funny enough, that was if you haven't seen it, well, you have, Paul, but it's similar to what I mentioned watching last night, the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, it's awesome.
That kind of plays into that because obviously Shia LaBeouf's brother obviously dies. Not a big of a spoiler, but his part of the lake gets given to somebody else. Like, they must have like bidded for it. So like obviously the brother who's still trying to fish there. So yeah, they must have like certain areas that they own to a certain degree.
I love watching films from years ago when I got the mobile phones and it just dates it.
I was wondering what year or like what era this was set in, but obviously the phones are telling you it's not like modern day.
But then when you watch The Matrix with the flip phones, it still looks cool, which is weird. You know what I mean? It still looks futuristic, even though it's like a flip phone. It still looks amazing.
I laughed about this because I think I've mentioned to you guys before, like the X-Files. You couldn't do the X-Files now because they're like, oh yeah, I seen an alien, did you? And like took a picture of it on the phone. Like, oh, you did.
Yeah. And they'll change the Smoker Man to the fake Ping Man now.
Well, didn't the last couple of X-Files like bomb? Like, didn't they do like one-off films and stuff like that? Didn't they just not get any traction at all?
They did that main event one, didn't they? The X-Files the event like a few years ago. Also,
yeah.
I only watched it on Sky One, and that was really it.
I think I'm on to season 9 now. I'm at the back end of season 9. I'm really enjoying when Robert Patrick's come in.
How many seasons do you know?
I think there's 10, and then there's the new 2.
Right. Okay.
Was it Bruce Campbell in
those
episodes?
Bruce Campbell's been in one. He's like the babies that keep getting born as devil babies. There's so many famous people. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, Shia LaBeouf. Like, there's so many actors and actresses in the years in the X-Files, man.
Well, I reckon it's because of where we are now. Is that, if you watch anything that was made in the 90s, anybody who was young and up and coming, you'll just spot so many faces. I was always saying that about ER. The ER was like almost like it's kind of like the warm up to any actor. If you want to be an actor, you got to go and star in ER first.
Well, you just got a bit, a bit of exposure. So I think we've got some players now. Anyway, I think it's trying to structure that out. We haven't really seen the creature. I think that's where.
Well, this is it. I mean, as far as the story goes, it's not. It's only just starting to go now, isn't it? It's like, I mean, we're 20 minutes in nearly, so it's like kind of slow pace a bit, but.
I recognise the wifey, but it was this wifey here talking.
No, she looks like her from Losers. She's in Colombia. I think she's in one of the Mission Impossibles.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, I know you're on about. Yeah. Speaking of Mission Impossible, I've just noticed there, because Nicholas Hoult jumped in my mind there, and I thought, oh, what's he going to be doing lately? I forgot he was in the next Mission Impossible, but he'd actually been dated to be in not only Mission Impossible 7, which is like coming out in the future, but he'd also been put up as Mission Impossible 8 as well. I was like, oh well, so they must be building him up into a bit of a character.
Which one did I watched? One that was he was in Dubai or something like that. That's the last time I watched one. He was on the big massive building.
Ghost Protocol, I think.
Probably, yeah.
I forget what numbers they are now.
Yeah.
So this acting's not horrible. I mean, they're not winning any Oscars anytime soon.
To be honest with you, if it's done around Vancouver, obviously going back to like there's a talent pool there because people get small auditions. They have a bit of experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, I think the film falls when the special effects come along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that first attack, obviously, at the beginning of the film, it did look a little bit too much like a bin liner.
You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet.
Goddamn seagulls.
No.
I once seen a seagull in South Shields eat a KFC chicken. Like, well, I'm not joking, it was on the floor and I was like, you're just eating your bloody family there.
Where are you guys up to?
Boats, fishing.
He's reeling something in.
Yep.
Alright, yeah.
Yep.
So it's doing the jaws.
Yeah.
No, I just had a little. I think I was a couple of seconds behind you after that, trying to take the captions off before. I think we're about to get the creature though.
Spoilers, man.
Really. And it's daytime.
Oh, it's daytime.
That's worrying.
Oh. Why didn't you just let go? Oh, he's off.
Well, they had a big thing.
And his quince was attached to the chair and stuff in the rod, wasn't he?
But he knows what he's doing. This bloke clearly.
Oh.
25.
He's gone under.
Oh dear.
Now, do you reckon when people do that, do you think they act going under, or do you think there's actually someone under there pulling them under?
No, like what'll happen? There it is. It's here.
Breakers that. What the heck? Oh my god. What the hell is this?
I stand corrected, a black thin liner is an insult to what this looks like.
Oh my god.
But what is going on there? I mean, there's no like... I don't know.
Now, going back to pulling the guy under, there'll be a diver. Well, certainly there'll be a diver under there and putting a mask over. That's how you would properly do it. But when you got low budget like that, yeah, someone just probably pulls him under. But what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You talk about a reveal of a creature. I think it's one of the most important things in a monster movie. Its backstory, its mythology, the build-up, and then the reveal. That's really, really crucial.
But if he stayed on him way too long, even if he was there, nighttime would have helped, but even if he was there for like a split second, and then the camera cuts, that would have not really made it better, but it would have been a little bit better, but the camera stayed on him way too long there. It was like, look at all the detail.
Yeah. And the hook was really bad CGI at the end also, when you went to take care of the hook.
Fuck me, that's a big truck. God, they didn't even get in the car. It just cut to the... They opened the door, then it just drove off.
We've got budget to him. They go, here. How do we trim it down? So it's an interesting theory. So we're talking like stingrays crossed with vampires.
Pretty much. I often think like this as well, if you think about it. Stuff like this was maybe wrote for X-Files or Millennium at the time, and there's been a script there, and they've went, oh, we could probably make a movie of that. Do you know what I mean? Or X-Files have went, no, like Mulder's not going to look for sea vampires. Do you know what I mean? But ludicrous as it sounds, but that's how stuff ends up getting done, you know. Some things get wrote as film and get turned into TV shows. It's been well documented that Simon Says is based off a New York story, wasn't it? Die Hard 3.
There's a book, yeah. They shopped around for ages and they went, hang on, we'll just put John McClane in this.
I always thought a good movie, what it would have been good for John McClane would have been Hostage.
That's such a good film.
It really gets lost underneath the thing. If he was John McClane in that, I don't think anyone would. I think at first people have went, well, that wasn't a fucking. But I think in time, I think that film would have had a little bit more shelf life.
Yeah. Die Hard 4, I love Die Hard 4, then 5. I think I've seen 5 1.5 times and I turned it off.
Yeah. That's the same shot from the start of the movie.
It is, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's just
Why does
not.
that boat look like it's from Action Force or G.I. Joe from years ago?
And
I'm sure you still have it.
Well, where's the guy in the yellow jacket gone? I mean, he's just totally changed view.
Oh, what am I watching?
I'm sorry. Well, this is good though. I mean, this is.
I'm enjoying it. It's good. I'm enjoying the hilarious of it, but I'm just like, I don't know, my brain like keeps trying to say, no, Carl, try and make sense of it.
I mean, the other one
That's
I've
like you when you pick me up at work.
the next one I've got on me. The next one we'll have to see if we can get a hold of is Blood Cabin. That's the next one I've got on me pile to watch.
Right. What about Sand Sharks?
Sand Sharks. I don't think I've got Super Shark.
I think
That was, I remember seeing the trailer for that. And I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. Just the trailer in itself.
yeah, like four-headed sharks and stuff like that, like sci-fi movies.
There's a one called Super Shark where it's got a rap video with it. It's Super Shark, and at the end it fights a tank, and the tank gets up and drop kicks the shark. You're like, what?
So it's a transformer.
Can you imagine directing this scene? Right, I just want everyone to shout. Oh, and here it goes. It's doing its alien impression.
Oh,
Oh,
my God,
Alien.
really? You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, there's another one.
Space Wolves. God.
Right.
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ.
Oh, stop motion action now, is it?
It did actually look like stop motion. A little bit of stop
Yeah.
motion, yeah.
Something tells me this
So
film
obviously-
didn't get the time to do anything stop motion.
They must have had something on set for him to react to. Oh God.
Yeah.
I was just thrown over, wasn't it?
Someone sitting
Imagine
on the
that
couch,
movement's not too bad actually for it. If they kept it stop motion and practical, I think it would look actually alright.
I mean, you guys are following the story a bit better than I am with no audio here, but like, is that the dad who just got killed as well? So it really, like, the film's going to take no prisoners though, is it?
The only prisoners taken is us.
At least we're going to sit through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I tell you what though, I mean, when you said about Die Hard 5 there, obviously you'd already seen the one. Is there a film that you've yet to see because you turned it off?
I don't.
I've never done that. As bad as the film is, I always feel like it's got to be a case of like, if I'm going to hate on it, if I'm going to tell you to tell the film, I feel like I only have the right to do that once I've seen
You've
it.
seen it
from start to
all,
finish.
yeah.
I don't understand when people say they watch 10 minutes of a film and then they walk out of the cinemas. They're like, how do you know that's not going to get way better though, or at least give it a chance?
And last time I did that was Ad Astra. I started watching it, and I think it got to the bit where he went to Mars or went to the moon. The moon fight was mint. And after that, I was just like, I'm so bored of this. I just turned it off.
Oh, really? Oh, I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I think
I mean, it was
maybe
definitely
Blade Runner too much.
It was definitely 2001 Space Odyssey. It was slow. It was.
Oh
kind
God,
of
I Space
drawn
Odyssey.
out. But I thought that's what it was going for, so I went with it.
Space Odyssey. I think you've got to see that movie, but like, I mean, loads of people swear by it, but like, to me, I seen it later, and I was like, being such a fan of Kubrick's later work, I was just like, this film just looks like it's stuck half the time.
Yeah. My purpose is like it's 2001, but I like stuff like Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket's like two different fucking films, that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like I say, it is two films.
Then obviously.
But can you imagine back in the day though, going to see 2001 Space Odyssey and like watching that whole monkey scene?
Oh,
Thinking, hold on a minute, wasn't this supposed to be a sci-fi film or wasn't it supposed to be in space? I just feel like it's such a weird way to start a film. Totally like arty, that's all it was going for, but it was like, I just imagine like first people's impression back in the day when it came out.
And then
It's weird.
Elvis pitched the theme tune, so the 2001 March, the music. Elvis just go on stage with that music playing.
Really?
and that's what Ric Flair uses, isn't it?
Oh, that's very similar to it,
Woo! I'm sure that's Ric Flair's tune.
It's very similar. I know what you're on about, and I think it's very similar, but I wouldn't swear by it.
That thing's got echoes in there. He's got a grenade.
What did he do there?
Open the door.
He threw a
Shoot the
grenade
grenade in.
Oh, smoke grenade.
Ah.
Okay, great. Sure it's going to work? That was 2 seconds ago, I'm not sure. Let us check.
He's got to bang out windows in it.
I'd give it at least a day if I opened it up again.
Yeah.
Who?
It's going to get out.
It sounds like got like a bird stuck in the car. It's going to open the door. They'll let it out. So that's practical, obviously.
I mean, that looks a lot smaller than the thing what was flying around the car before.
A little bit like.
They're still hiding it now and then. Apart from it.
So I wonder if that's why they changed the name then, because the name of the film now is the name of that book she was reading.
Mm.
So I wonder if they just thought, actually, hold on, the book she read would make a better title because it would make more sense.
Well, it's obviously been rebranded later, like a few years later. I mean, I'm gonna look at the date on this because originally, so this is a 2014 release. So it's obviously been rebranded.
Well, this is 2013, mind.
Yeah, but this is the obviously the DVD artwork. It's been sold as the Damn Sea Vampires, so it's obviously done all right on television.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that one years ago? Bird Pandemic.
You mean now?
Oh.
When everyone was like, oh, all the shitty birds.
Yeah.
That even came out on Blu-ray.
But it's like that 47 meters down. It came out as something completely different. It went on the shelves in like Walmart, and then within 2 days, I had to take it off, send it back to the company to change its name and go to the pictures. So some people still have that film under a different title on DVD. Right, it's still 47 meters down. Yeah. Have you seen the second one?
I was about to say though, did they come out like back to back? Because I thought I was surprised. I don't know what it was. I saw that it was the second one. I was like, didn't seem that long ago when the first one came out.
It was good for years. The second one was like the best view on the second one is the ending. That's it.
Because the first one's ending, she don't know if she gets out or she dies of hallucination or something, isn't it?
The Shallows is good though.
Oh, Shallows is one of the... Except for the Hollywood ending, Shallows is mint.
I've got it. Never watched it yet.
Oh, it's good.
I think you told us to get information, I think.
Steelbook's lush.
Pick it up and I remember.
Steelbook's one of the nicest steelbooks they've brought out in years.
Yeah.
Probably the best short film since Jaws 4.
You're talking about like people owning like the DVD to a different name and stuff like that. The one thing I noticed the other day, and I hope she's still got it for us, like, because she's definitely had. But I've actually got the Ghostbusters movie poster in the Odeon, and I just thought that's going to be interesting, that because it's got the date on of 2020, yet it's not actually going to be released until 2021.
That'd be pretty cool. Get your hands on
the
that.
Afterlife one. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really nice one where it's like the cars in the field, nothing else on it.
I mean, like the Odeon.
Just like such,
I mean, no one's going to be in the Odeon, like.
But it's funny that, you know, with the world of cinema, right? We were talking the other day, someone mentioned that the Odeon was, there was apparently rumours that Newcastle and Gateshead were really struggling for cinema, and that they might not be open for much longer, or they might be reducing themselves down, which is really interesting because the bloke who works at the Odeon, who I know, who actually turned around and said that they've just signed a contract with Dolby, and that they're going for a new Dolby sound system in one of the screens, and
Dolby Vision.
the screen, yeah, and 2 of the screens are going to get revamped up with the reclining chairs and everything. I thought, well, if it's struggling, it's not going to sign contract like that.
No, I
Unless
think
it's
what
like
it is.
do or die kind of attitude.
Yeah, I think what it is, it's an American chain that owns it, is struggling because there's so many of them.
But AMC's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously,
AMC, I'm sure that's one of them.
yeah. So we'll close some AMC ones, but it'd be like what HMV was from over there to here. It'd just be that kind of that different thing. But yeah, Dolby Vision is supposed to be absolutely amazing. Like it's like it's an HDR 10 plus a little bit extra. So
Yeah.
it'll look amazing.
Because he's definitely looking into that, like.
The thing is as well, though, this might not sound stupid, but one thing that could really sort cinemas out would be if they, stuff like how popular Game of Thrones was, if Game of Thrones was released at the Pictures on a Friday night. It's like, oh, I'll go and see Game of Thrones, and you can experience it as a fucking audience. Do you know what I mean? Because, like...
Well, there was a rumour that the last 2 episodes were meant to be released to the cinema.
It's back. It's giving them a hug.
Oh, it's back. God. How could they what they're doing?
Wow, that didn't even look
That's
rendered.
No.
That looked like Resident Evil, the liquor. Do you remember when that was completely different in the trailer
Yeah.
to the actual movie?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's flying.
The thing is, the practical looks better than the CGI. I've said that for years.
Going back to the Odeon though, I think the Odeon needs to make it look like more of a pictures. I'm sick of going in there and I'm wanting to buy tickets or get asked a query and I've got to like wait in the popcorn queue.
Yeah. Yes.
What is going on here?
Box office. They don't have box office, do they?
Well, you've got no nostalgia
But no,
walking in.
They've revamped it though, but obviously I haven't had a chance to finish it with all this going on. But the counter where you used to buy a ticket, they've completely redone all that. So I don't know if they're going to use that as a more of a customer service counter and just keep it the way they've got it, where you buy a ticket and your food all in the same place. Which I think is a ridiculous idea.
The thing is as well though, I think cinemas like over here should have films on, like Pulp Fiction might be on one night, more nostalgia stuff, but then give films a fucking chance. I remember, I don't know what I was going to see, Trainspotting 2. I went to see Trainspotting 2 on the second week it was out, and every single fucking screen had Beauty and the Beast on.
Yeah, it's money.
There's 2 films, I can't remember which one they were now, but there was 2 films I really wanted to see last year. And you know me, I mean, I go to the cinema every other day, you know what I mean? And there was 2 films I remember looking at going, where they gone? And he turned around and goes, oh, they're not on anymore. I said, mate, it was released like 3 days ago. He goes, yeah. Nobody was watching it, so we turned it off. And I was like, that's not really giving anyone a chance, like, at all.
That's not very good business strategy. That it's like oh guess what? The film's out Friday, right? I've got my kid at pantomime on Saturday. I've got a family funeral on Sunday. Maybe on Monday night I'll get a chance to see this film at the Pictures, and it's gone. You know what I mean? It's just fucking ludicrous. It takes time for people to discover movies.
Yeah. What I think they're going to start doing for the next few months will be what they've been doing recently, especially Warner Bros. You know, like release Gremlins. Release Jaws and the first one. I think if they do that would be amazing, but show a bit more, because obviously when you guys go, it's 8:30 at night, on a Friday night, if I come on, people work till 9 o'clock at night. I mean, you would have showings like during the day would be a bit better. Then say Gremlins on like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then 8 o'clock fine. I mean, you're going to get more bums and seats that way, hopefully.
Well, that's it, yeah.
I mean, when I went to see Halloween...
For the right ones.
I was just going to say, I went to see Halloween at Bolden when I came back from Edinburgh, and it was packed out, and it was class because John Carpenter sat down and did a brand new exclusive interview for that show, and it was really cool. And then about a month later, at the same cinema, we went to see The Breakfast Club, and I think it was me and Brittany in the pictures.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like hit or miss for projectionists.
Was that at Bolden, did you say? With The Breakfast Club?
Right.
Because to be honest with you, like I say, I remember asking, I think when I used to go on, when I go on the app, it paid to be more entertaining to go on a different cinema, so I'd actually go to, like, say, Manchester, and, like, literally every other week there'd be, like, a classic film that I'd like, oh, that would be amazing to watch on the big screen, and we wouldn't get it, and I remember asking, I don't know if it's, like, the only certain ones are allowed, but I remember them saying, it's like, oh, no, that's only in Manchester, they do that. I was like, well, why don't you? And I know they have done.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched of all films. I went to watch, and again, Paul, I think it was like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No word of a lie, I went to watch Jingle All the Way about two years ago, and it was just like, this is awesome because like, seen the film, it's a daft film, but at the end of the day, it's just like seeing certain films on the big screen. Like when we went to see Jaws, Mason, that was like an awesome film to watch on the big screen.
Yeah, it was. It looked.
It was just like it was recreating that experience.
And obviously, Ghostbusters was a few months ago. That was only on like one night or 2 nights, and that was gone. I was like, well, come on, give people a chance.
Yeah.
I think that's what the studios will do. They'll be sending out like the 4K masters. Like say, like Top Gun. Top Gun probably go back to the pictures before the new film. Just get to the seat.
Tell you what really sold out really well, which isn't really that surprising when you think of the film, but Alien. So I went to see Alien one night, and it was like 5 o'clock at night, because what it was doing, it was back to back with Alien Covenant. What was it? It's something like we watched Alien one week. No, I tell a lie. It was Alien one week, and the following week it played Alien Prometheus, and then like almost like an hour afterwards, it then played Alien Covenant for the first time. I just thought, I mean, when you watch the first Alien on the big screen, it's absolutely such a good film to watch on the big screen. But mate, every single seat was taken.
I bet anybody knows.
If you pick the right types of films, you will always get a sell if you do the right film.
You know, if you do this nostalgia. Oh, sorry, Paul.
You're not going to see the Fox films they got in the pictures. They're going to end up doing a vault, because already they're pulling loads of returns for Predator, Die Hard, so they're going to be shelved for a while. They're going to get rid of loads for a little bit and then do their own versions and stuff.
Well, the thing is as well, like when you go in the pictures, like this is what I want. I went to see the Gremlins on the 30th anniversary. I went to see Jaws on the 40th anniversary. You know, you've got your ticket. You should go there. You should at least get some kind of like mini poster or something like that. You know, like they do with the big films, like the nostalgia run. Like, yeah, you came to see it, or even like they don't have to produce it. What like you do is like your ticket, you being there, showing it through social media, on the website, and they send you out an exclusive print for supporting the film. And get people, you know what I mean? If you've got a love for a film and you've got a passion, like Tim Burton wants to do an Edward Scissorhands, and you know what I mean? There's loads of artists out there as well, especially in the era of Instagram. Oh my God, it's running across the floor. Loads of people would do commission stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they need to do, like nostalgia stuff, but like, make it worth it, not just the price of a ticket you film already seen. Get something back from it.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, they're flying. I know exactly why. You don't have to apologise for shit there. They are...
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
Run from that.
They all like lined up in a row in front of the moon. Oh,
well, everyone loves that moment in Batman. I mean, the flying. What do you think hiding under there is going to solve it?
Yeah.
Like, go back where you said, Mason. You should get a ticket, like a special ticket, and a ticket holder. 40th anniversary of Batman, and have like a pin badge or something to go with it. Bang, dusted. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like it's been fully coloured.
Why do you even go near it? I mean, just don't.
Oh, that was a stealthy landing.
Oh Christ.
Oh no.
I think it's funny that I'm a little bit ahead of Paul there to get Paul's legit reaction to that one.
You know what would have served this much better is if it was done like Jaws. It would have been way more better if they were in a boat in the middle of nowhere. This whole running from set to set just ridiculous.
Oh, who's he?
Scooby-Doo film, this.
Imagine that, just like fully kitted up, an army gets and all that, and just comes out with a gun. Like, what the fuck's going on? What do you do? Oh, he's gonna have it though.
Oh, he's done for.
Oh, it shot him. Gets hugged to death, doesn't he?
He's gonna get a hug.
Oh, that's it.
Yep,
right.
Oh, he spit his head off.
No, it's
well, I was gonna say at least you bit his head off, because the other one.
Where'd he go?
Didn't do that.
Ta-da!
Oh, just it exploded.
How did what?
That's like the end of Jaws the Revenge, the proper cut. Like, if you watch the fucking Jaws Revenge, it's got two endings, right? One where Mario Van Peebles doesn't die, and one where he does. And, like, I always remember the shark getting harpooned with the end of the boat, and there's a mint scene of the shark going down underwater. Oh, it gets run over. There's that, but then there's an alternative
How
cut.
many times it looks?
And then there's another scene where it just touches the shark and it explodes, and then cuts to the shark from the original movie falling down to its death. And you think, why did they change that? And why are we seeing the original ending from the original Jaws?
Lack of imagination.
Well, that one's just been overkill considering all that guy did was poke it. I mean, he's ran it over with a truck and dropped half the fucking contents of sand on it.
My lord.
What would be amazing watch would be the Blob, the 1980s one.
I've got that on VHS. That needs that. I'm honestly, that's going to have to come out sometime soon on Arrow or something like that.
Yeah.
Pick it up straight. That film, again, with Robocop, you know, when you shouldn't have Robocop, you should have Lethal Weapon, but it was Britannia, so you'd buy 10 a year, and the Blob, and I remember watching it as a kid, and it's one of those films I love but hate, but I love it. It's just the effects are amazing.
Well, that was it, because the thing that always got me with that film, as I was a young child watching it, I was always really surprised when they were in the sewers and the Blob gets a kid, because in what film the children normally die?
Well, it's like the lead actor in it.
Always get away.
I was going to say the lead actor who you think you follow, and he gets killed halfway through when it catches him in the room, and you think, oh, he's going to get away, and he doesn't.
But I mean, come on, I mean, those effects are amazing. I mean, I think I was talking to, was it Stan Winston Studio who did effects, or Boss Films? I'm on Instagram, and there was a picture of, obviously, you know, the picture of the guy, and his face is getting all covered, it's like that, the main picture. And I put on this film, scared me as a kid. You guys did a great job, and it still holds memories, blah, blah. And he liked it. I was like, oh, it's really meant that. You can interact with people like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, practical effects, man. It's kind of.
Right, who are these two people who've appeared?
Well, because they've just been thrown in the mix. And they could be bad guys because they're all dressed in black.
I follow Wet Bandits.
Well, it's just practically more cannon fodder, really, isn't it?
Pretty
It's
much.
just more people to kill.
Yeah.
At least they didn't go for the binocular shot there. I mean, they wasted that one. Oh,
Oh, you know how much effort it takes to do something like that?
I was going to say, yeah, no. It was weird filming yourself in your bedroom for someone else.
you definitely are on Tinder, aren't
My
you?
first time in my bedroom.
Okay. For money.
Oh, no, not for money. Just
Oh, look, it's a scene we just seen from the Turtles, in a way.
Turtles. That's alright. I give him a 1 star for that.
That's the night they've been up all night filming this, and like, for fuck's sake, we're not going to bed yet.
Just about saying that.
It's been a couple of times on films on that when I've done night shoots, and it gets to about 4 or 5 in the morning, and you're looking at what they're trying to set up, and you're like, why don't you just call it now? Because like you're going to get 1, maybe 2 takes of it, and it's just fucking insanity. Like, oh,
Gagging cat bed there.
he's going to get it.
This is where we find out if Sand not kill him.
Oh, bit his eye out.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Let's just give credit to this man who had to act that.
You should have just did a practical with that.
I mean, to be honest with you, what I would have done is like have him looking in the hole, raw, and then you just see half his body in the sand, and then that's it.
I mean, they've gone for the landscape shots in this film, haven't they?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's stock footage because and now they haven't mourned very much, have they?
They haven't got time to mourn.
You got time to mourn.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time no more. But you're bleeding, no.
Come on, do it now.
You damn seen vampire.
I think the thing that gets me surprised the most is that this film has been rated 635 times on IMDb and it's got 3 out of 10. It somehow managed to conjure 3 out of 10.
And it had 5.6 million views.
Yeah. But then again, is it not like that's something for, like I say, people are loving it, they like to watch really bad films. Like, look at The Room. I mean, it's a horrible film, but literally it practically sells out in America. They replay it like matinees at cinemas every other year, every other couple of months, and apparently people will turn out for it just because of the ridiculousness of it.
The other thing, The Room's, I mean, mental. There's another reason why films like this end up being quite popular on YouTube, is because people search for full movies. But what happens is, if someone's watching a movie on YouTube, they fall asleep, it will play at the next movie. And sometimes it just has to play for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? And it gets a view, do you know what I mean? Kind of a...
Yeah.
Fighting over oil. It's always some crooked... Oh, hang on. I thought you had gone there. We're approaching the hour.
Nope. No.
So...
I know that you literally just read my mind there, because I was like, look at the film, I thought, oh, hold on a minute, what time is it? It's the 54th minute. No, we're engulfed in this film now, man. We're invested.
I'm glad you said that. I was watching the guy's hat. It's pretty good.
Again, though, it's like... they've got the like, that's not green screen behind them, is it? I mean, they've actually, you know...
Got a TV.
Got a TV screen. But that's a conversation that's been had, isn't it? Anyone got a TV? We'll come for a first scene.
Has someone got a cowboy hat I can have?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's surprising. You'd be surprised how many productions get set up and there's like day to night shoots, and if it's just standard scenes like this, it's surprising, especially in a town that makes a lot of TV pilots and a lot of TV shows, that these could come in on the night and during the day someone else, like, you know what I mean, it's just a rented set, you know, someone could use it for two, and you're never going to know it's in a, like, used in a scene, say for example in the X-Files, and it was used in this on the night time. It's like the classic example of Universal when they made the classic Dracula, when they made a Spanish version during the night and the Bela Lugosi one during the day, and simultaneously they're almost like two different films but exactly the same film. Do you know what I mean? But again, it's just utilising, buying stock footage. It's probably the same production company. Do you know what I mean? They'd be funding loads of things, and do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. What happens?
But you normally find like travel companies sponsor these and film that thingy, and they get funding. Tax breaks and stuff.
Yeah, tax breaks, tax write-offs, investors. That's where a lot of the money comes. But again, it goes down to a good producer that can utilise it. And you know what I mean? Like, again, going back to that film I've seen, Red Hill, recently, which I would love for you guys to see, because it's fucking amazing. The fact that that guy made that on 700 grand, it's fucking beautiful, the movie. And it's class.
Yeah.
But that's when they're like, right, we need a semi-truck to go past. And the one guy in the village who actually, that was his job, they give him a couple of crates of beer. He drove by 2 times in 2 different shots. And it just adds to scale, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That takes some street smarts to be able to produce something out of nothing, like.
It's all trial and error, you know what I mean? It's kind of like... stuff falls through, stuff works out, you know what I mean? But it's being able to balance stuff. If one opportunity you think is solid and golden's going to work, and it's a fucking hiccup, you've got to be able to counterbalance and say, for example, right, we're going to be filming this tonight, and it starts fucking pouring down. You need to be going, right, well, why don't we get this filmed instead? You know what I mean? You've got to be able to make them decisions.
Yeah. Because it's normally the second unit, isn't it? You go off and do layers
somewhere
else, and...
Yeah, the second unit and stuff, like, right, like, call that, get that, and that's what they pick up. But you know what I mean? Again, it mainly comes down to when you're doing a bigger movie, scheduling. So if you had a bigger actor in this, you would have to get their stuff out the way. But these actors probably all are just there for a whole month. They're not going anywhere. They're just if they need it, they're there. But like when you bring in a big actor, and then you've got to work around him, and it just, you know what I mean? It's all about balance and being able to make it so it works.
Definitely. Well, like, it's like the mayor from Jaws wasn't going to return in the second one, but he came in because his wife was really ill, wasn't she? At the time?
But again, they got his scene filmed out the way and got it done.
That's it. Yep. Setting traps now. It's like the A-Team.
But it's like Ryan Reynolds in The Criminal, when he's at the start of the movie, but he only did it as a quick favour and he's not even credited in the movie.
Yeah.
He does a loads, like, doesn't he? He pops up.
You mentioned Dracula earlier on. Apparently, the original house is for sale at the moment for 66 million.
Fucking hell.
The original castle.
What, in Hollywood?
What's your...
No, the original one in the hills. I forget where it is now, but the original castle that's always been used as a shot. Probably not obviously the set, because the sets are in Hollywood, but the original castle that they always used as a shot. Apparently, I thought for the size of it, 66 million.
I've been looking at house pricings recently, and I was like looking at these houses. I was like, that's not worth that. I mean, who's coming up with these fucking prices?
I think the house prices will go down soon.
I think they're going to rock it, yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're going to drop for there.
What is...
We were looking at it the other day.
Yeah. Is that boat bringing in more fences or what?
I don't know what that was doing there.
I think it's one of those, like, the nets, like, if you imagine it rotate down and then drops in the water.
Oh, right.
I think it was just because it was stood upright, so it looked like a fence. You've got the sniper.
It's got a chum. Where did you get these guys from? With the guns and stuff?
Because there's a lot of people added to this now, isn't there?
I know.
But now, because they went into business with the bad guys, so they probably got
right.
X-Men and all of it.
Right. Did they get rid of the vampire?
The thing is, though, it looks like the same night as one before, though, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. There's definitely some reshots here. What we now need to do is get Keith Sutherland to just jump out the water.
It's happening on the hour mark. Hiya, Paul.
Yeah.
Happened right on the hour mark.
Yeah. We're just going to get call. I'll continue.
I got call.
You got call? Cool.
It's definitely an hour mark thing.
Don't tell him. Oh, hi, call you.
Don't tell them. Dickhead.
Let me kicks me off first instead of you guys.
That was definitely an hour thing.
I don't know what. Well, for you, what I normally do, I normally wait for it, but it comes up on my phone as reconnecting, but it's trying for like a good 30 seconds, and it dies out. Well, obviously I know what it is now, so I just hang up and just wait for someone else to ring.
Oh! The fuck is happening to him? It's fucking pitch black.
Is that a big one? Yeah, it's a big one. It's the Queen, isn't it?
That guy is clearly dead, but the screaming's still going.
Yeah. Oh, they're clever.
That's a bit
They
shocking.
did that on purpose, didn't they?
Oh, look at you, Paul, chucking in a little bit shocking that. Oh! Oh, the guy with the hat.
They haven't done themselves any favours with the design of the vampire, just so awkward. There's only, you limited yourself to how much you could work with that. I mean, they're clearly going for something that looks like a bat, but still, could have done something so much easier.
There should be like a stingray or something.
Oh my god, like the blood dripping out there and that. I mean, what is it not rocking or anything, or?
Nah, that's film school 101, innit?
But why hang on that shot for so long? Oh my god, the guy's just been beheaded off the motorbike. And why would it explode? Why would that just...
Where did the explosion come from? No head. Oh my good lord.
Highlight of the movie, decapitated the bike and it just explodes for no reason.
I love that in film when things explode for no reason, just because it has to.
I mean, I remember when I had the car crash and that woman like ended up on top of my car in between a tree, and I instantly got out away from the car thinking it'll explode. You know what I mean?
You do, don't you?
Oh, the bad guy. Bad guy.
Oh.
Very quick death.
Well, let's see now, that's probably been the best death to date.
Yeah, because I think it's all in camera, wasn't it?
It used all in camera. It
Oh.
was using a stingray thing. Makes more sense. Rather than hugging people.
Is it locked? You just ripped the handle off from one side, now it's locked, is it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, cannabis farm.
I like how they've got torches, even though everything's so brightly lit. Look,
I think that's always a hard thing with movies. It's either pitch black and you can't see shit.
why should
Well,
why should torch on the...
What I love the most is... Well, is it? Well, it's bright as you like now, isn't it? Oh, nice swinging motion.
Oh, they're going to get it high, aren't they?
She's going to get... Yeah, she's going to get it. Bright light! Bright light! Bright light! Bright light!
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like when we're talking about lights, it's when someone turns the light on in the room, like a bedroom lamp, and yet the entire room's lit up like it's a spotlight. It's just like, yeah, it's a kind of good lamp, aren't they?
I mean, clearly if they'd exploded that much, they should have got covered in blood.
Well, it did in the last one, though, didn't it? When the guy originally exploded after his hug. Nobody prodded him. Yeah. Depends on where they filmed this. Maybe run out of blood.
Hello. Normally, in layman's terms, he's just like, in other words, English. God, the days and nights are going very quick, aren't they?
This must be like a week now.
I mean, how long we're talking here? Is this supposed to be like 2 or 3 days now?
It's supposed to be one net day, I think, isn't it? Like Mason said, days and nights.
No, it's been days and nights, isn't it?
It's been at least about 2 or 3 days. Yeah,
I mean-
nobody's been called.
I mean, are they like deserted? Are they like stuck in there?
That's what I mean. Why did nobody come to help? Are they the only people in the area?
I mean, there's
If
no
you
one.
think about it, fair enough if it was just this location now, but they've been in about 6 or 7 different locations in this, what I presume to be a small town, but still.
Again, mobile phones, take pictures of them, send it.
Yeah, how come everyone called they weren't helping?
This is it.
Like the police?
Nobody knows.
I mean, they've got phones. We've seen that at the start with the bidding.
Yeah.
Good old Nokia. 4210.
Oh, not that rich, mate. I could never afford an Nokia when I first came out.
My first one was a Motorola, was one of those big massive ones.
Yeah. You were cool at school if you had a Nokia, like.
Here's my backstory.
Aye.
Only half an hour to go.
Here's my backstory days later, and now I'm going to be a sex pest because your dad's been dead for a couple of days.
Yeah, because they're totally going to get the kiss at the end of the film.
Give us some sugar, baby.
movie who's doing the acting.
Oh, he took it a while ago, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Oh,
I
Matt.
think he was, yeah. Yeah.
Where does he live?
Matt lives Shotley Bridge.
Shotley Bridge. That's fine. You haven't done some film with him if he likes the old acting thing.
He's been in a few. He was in the Once Upon a Time review random. He was in the Rear Window video as well.
I think everyone was in that. I was a deleted outtake. I was right at the end.
No, and you were in it twice.
It's that.
I know.
You went twice, Paul.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Not that you didn't get credited or out like that. Cashback.
Stop giving a shit over that. I told you what had happened with that.
You did.
Right, now she's got a phone. This is...
Now she's doing a vlog. Oh my god. Good. Right there.
Basically, they're just standing on a box with fans. So look,
What are
stand on the thing with
plugs
fan.
in? Oh, they are.
Oh, there's one on the road.
There are wires.
Why did that just suddenly explode?
The light.
Because they're on the top with lights.
But the other one didn't explode that quick. From like, she was right close to that. She was going burn. That it's like. Psst.
So when did they have time to build that on the car?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was chatting her up, and they were outside with torches. I mean,
Unless it was the A-team.
I love it when the bulbs go together.
Do you think that should have deserved the second film? The remake?
Definitely.
oh
I
yeah.
enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it, but I'm not like heartbroken that they didn't do a second one. But I just thought it was a bit harsh. They didn't really
Castle-
give it a chance. Like,
Nah, the casting on a film was amazing. Casting was down to a T. The only thing that annoyed me was Mr. T losing his, his attitude until the end. But no, made a casting. To be honest, I'll probably watch it again soon. Like, but
I've
I
only
really
ever
love
seen
the
it
film.
once, but yeah.
I love it.
I just love like how they endorse the ridiculousness of it, like when they're free falling in the tanks.
They
Like,
knew
the guys are guiding themselves by firing.
They knew it was cheese, and there we go. They knew it was cheese, so I mean, I would expect. I loved it.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually looked at the quad poster for above me bed.
Oh, it's back.
Here it goes.
Oh, flash grenade. I mean, pulled that one out of the bag, didn't he?
Was that a flash? That looked more like a mobile phone.
Said to keep something up his sleeve just in case. I mean, okay. She better not fall asleep. There you go. Fade to the moon.
That's beautiful, lad.
Oh,
Bad guy.
nice confession that he'd helped take down his thing. Oh, that's a nice sunset. Probably stock footage.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I think I agree with you there. Right, it's sunset now. Sorry, it's sunrise. So just leave. Go.
No, they're making new lights. Do you not see this?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was Little Monsters I was watching.
But the light hadn't affected, the daytime hadn't affected them, have they?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So,
That's so weird.
obviously, like, in a way, it's borrowed a bit from Pitch Black, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Diesel's in it. It's rubbish.
You know what it is? I picked that Pitch Black, the first one. It came out, looked good, didn't watch it. Took us years to finally get around to watching it. I attempted 3 times. Actually enjoyed it when I finally got around to finishing it. It was just such a weird film. But I think I ended up binging all the sequels, and I was like, this is actually not so terrible. I mean, it's not great. It's like a B-movie style, but at the same time, it's like, this is like perfect for Vin Diesel if you want to give him like a standard action film.
Oh, he's just too wooden for me. There's something about him.
Well, he wants to cling onto that group rule all he can, because that'll be his money maker for a few years.
Just get paid millions of pounds just to go, I am Groot. I am Groot.
Thing is, I think Vin Diesel owns a lot of the rights to Pitch Black now.
Well, that's what he's done, because he did the same with Fast and the Furious as well. I think he's become one of those actors where I feel like he's a bit like Tom Cruise started it with Mission Impossible. So obviously, like I say, when people like talk about, oh, well, Tom Cruise is still doing it, I say, yeah, because he pretty much like, I don't think he owns the right to it or anything like that, but he pretty much funded most of them in one way or another.
Yeah, have something to do with it.
I think, like with Vin Diesel, I think he's trying to get that Bloodshot into a series as well, which wasn't horrible actually. It could have been so much better. The premise of the film was pretty decent.
Is it better than The Last Witch Hunter?
I never saw that. That was the one I didn't want to give the time of day to because it just didn't look good at all. But I tell you what, the worst villain I've seen, like when it comes to like a half decent actor, I want to call it The Last King or something like that.
Aye. It's not Lost.
It makes no sense.
In the Name of the King.
In the Name of the King, that's the one.
It's a Yuri Boy film. That's why, man. Yuri Boyle.
Jason Statham, Ron Perlman. It was a no-brainer.
Well, the thing is about him, he's a German director, normally known for his adaptations of video games like Alone in the Dark and stuff. But again, it's when they were getting a lot of their movies, you know, are made from German tax write-offs.
Right.
So basically, Jason Statham must have got a fucking fortune, but that's in the era, like, it got made around the time of, like, Italian Job and stuff like that, and then it's, you know what I mean, it came out ages later, but no, like, I'd seen a documentary about him. He's almost like the king of B-movies for the amount of movies he's made of licensed video games and stuff like that.
Did you see what that kid had at the time when he walked past with those 2 guns?
No.
Well, they look like PVC pipes with torches on.
One looked like a super scope from a SNES. I'm not joking. And then he actually interrupted you, but I was being polite.
Like in the Super Mario Brothers.
Honestly, yeah, I'm sure it is. I used to have one of them.
You know what? There's a film that we could do, you know.
Bloody hell. I think I've seen that 3 times in my life, but definitely.
What, Super Mario Brothers?
Bob Hoskins. I reckon I could be down to watch that again.
It's so expensive on Blu-ray. I've never got around to getting on Blu-ray because it's got no extra features.
Nah, it's a bare bones.
I haven't
really tried it though.
It came in cheap for one day, then it went up in price. Casper got it.
That's the thing with Casper. Anything that comes with that stockroom, you get one, and it's cheap. He gets it.
I think it came in for like games display. I think a few came in. It was $4.99 with any purchase, and then within 2 days it went up. Because obviously, that film is normally expensive anyway, isn't it? Like you said, Mason. Yeah. It's one of those films.
I think I've got about 5 copies of that in stock, you know. Because I'm sure, like, one of the last couple of days, because it was still on that back Mio facing technology down there, and I think even me and Big Dave were looking at it and going, like, not for, like another one's, like, really expensive as well, Mortal Kombat. It jumps up and down, but it's bare bones.
Yeah, I bought that when it first came out for, like, a tenner. But, like, I've seen that, like, go up and down in prices, Mortal Kombat, like.
But, like, it's weird.
It comes back.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's weird because Paul Verhoeven... no, it's not Paul Verhoeven. Paul W. Anderson. Like, He's from Newcastle. It's his fucking first major big movie. And then the one he made after that, Independence Day, sorry, not Independence Day, Event Horizon, has one of the best fucking documentaries about a movie on a Blu-ray extra. It's on for ages. And, like, the amount of, it's an amazing documentary about making a movie. And then you look at Mortal Kombat, it's got fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Up the back.
Do you think the studios and that? Do you think the studios have a lot of say of what sort of footage they're allowed to use? Because I am reckoning, like, when you think of the average film, there must be so much, like, I wouldn't say like stock footage, but yes, there probably is a lot of that as well. But there must be so much like documented around it. So when you think of film being released, you think, what's it going to cost you really to add that onto a disc? You know?
Well, that's it. Again, it normally. Again, though, it comes down to people's contracts. You know, like, a lot of editing work needs doing. I mean, when you film stuff on, like, behind the scenes, you catch raw content, you get stuff that people aren't happy with. You know what I mean? And it's only, like, years later when someone comes along and, like, it's urban myth. The whole, like, Van Damme's and the Predator, it wasn't until they go through the stock footage and for the first time ever, they showcase behind the scene footage of Van Damme in the jungle with Schwarzenegger, and you think, fuck me, he was in the film, you know what I mean? But, like, if you look at some of the situations, if you look at the tournament, all the behind the scenes footage is in Lonely Tree. It's not on any release whatsoever, but that's down to the company's got the movie out, and that's it, you know what I mean? Unless, like, someone wants to revisit it or the rights lapse. You know, you never know. I mean, The Burbs is a really good Arrow one as well, because, like, they went to Joe Dante and they went, what have you got? You know, Joe Dante's got all this stuff. And, like, for the first time ever with The Burbs, you get alternative scenes, you get the work print, you know what I mean? You get audio commentaries, and it's like, that's what you need when you're preserving and reissuing all these movies. If the actors are still alive, it doesn't matter who it is, get them in for a commentary.
Yeah, definitely. The problem is they ask for a lot of money as well, because you think about it, like, Tom Hanks in The Burbs is not the Tom Hanks of today. So I reckon the Tom Hanks in The Burbs would have been, like, totally down for, like, oh, I'll pop in for a chat and this and the other. But now I reckon he's going, well, with my schedule, I can only do this time, and it's going to probably cost you at least a day's work. Well, for my day's work, that's 15 grand. You know what I mean? So it just gets really complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But look at Feldman when he did that Friday the 13th documentary. That was well done.
Yeah, he was really good on that.
I think watch it again, actually.
Natural thing, I mean, even if they did it as I wouldn't say like a fan-made film, but even if they did like a web series, I would still like to see them try and do what the original plan was going to be, with him as Tommy Jarvis. And like kind of going a bit psycho and that. I would still buy into that idea just to say.
Have you not seen that movie called Fanboy 13 coming out?
No.
So it's called Fanboy 13. I think we should really acknowledge that they're blasting these vampires now with sonic fucking laser beams.
Lights.
Yeah, they're just.
I'm engaging in conversation, but I'm just watching this. Fantastic.
So Fanboy 13's got all the cast of Still Alive from Friday the 13th, and Corey Feldman playing this guy who goes around killing the original cast.
Right, really.
But it's being made. It's on IMDb.
Christ.
So is that new film with Bret Hart in it. That looked terrible.
Which one's that?
Just Corey Feldman and Bret the Hitman Hart. I mean, don't get us wrong, I'll be buying that day one, but like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just pipes, right?
Yeah, it is just PVC pipes with a torch strapped around it. Which, to be fair, I give them credit to, because obviously if they've built something really high-tech, is she done? Is she just being done for?
Yep.
Oh, the last?
This is the important part.
No, she's not. She's getting humped.
Ah, there you go. So this is the only one where they decided to not kill her straight away. Now, how did Corey Feldman documentary go down, Mason? Was it received well, or?
I think he was wanting a bit more exposure and stuff like that. I mean, it is a controversial DVD. It's well made. He's poured his heart and soul out of it. Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. He's not joking around with it. I think, like, you know what I mean. You've got to see it, but I think I've already said this now to Brittany. I says like they need to just release it on DVD now, and then get people to see it that way. You know what I mean? So, but Feldman's IMDb.
The next day.
Well, that's it. Again, though, he puts his, you know what I mean. So on Feldman's IMDb, Tales from the Dead Zone is the one with Bret Hitman Hart in. Fanboy 13 and The Goonies 2 is at the top of these announcements.
Oh, really?
Never, they'll never do that.
Goonies 2 can't happen.
No.
It's just pointless. He did nothing to do with it.
So Fanboy...
Rebooting it, which...
So Fanboy 13 Fanboy is former Scream Queens from Friday the 13th series are haunted by a real-life killer who doesn't understand what's make-believe. Stars Dean Wallace, Corey Feldman, Kane Hodder.
Dean Wallace from E.T.?
Yeah.
The mother.
It's just got a lot of the fan cast in, but yeah, that looks like obviously
a take on it.
take on the Tommy Jarvis like idea they've been floating around. I mean, didn't they shut down production of a Friday the 13th as a found footage film?
Yeah, but that just it's going to be the most messy film in the world when it comes to right, because I think they got to day one where they nearly lost the right, and then they released something, or there was something to do with the ownership because it should have went back, and that's what everyone was hoping for, because they said whoever had it at the time, I don't know if it was still Paramount, but they just weren't using it at all, and there was so many people wanting to do it.
Yeah, I think it's the guys who own it also are arguing over it, because the first one's Universal, isn't it, and then the rest of Paramount. That's the reason why that box set came out for like a day and then disappeared again. But,
that box set's still on HMV.com though.
Is it?
I actually seen that the other day. If you type in Corey Feldman in HMV.com, that box set appears to be buy, but obviously it came out. There was I think 3 or 4 copies of it. You're 30 quid, you know, for the first 8 Friday the 13th movies on a box set. It's not bad, and then it never came back in.
The one I've always fancied is that metal tin.
Yeah,
you can't get it in this country, and it's just so expensive.
It is. But like I said,
Those that got it, and I've seen it, it looks nice, but it's just not worth the...
When the new version comes out, people will be selling that one off, depending on what the quality's like on the new 4Ks or what we're going to do. We'll have to have a time.
See, I think as well, when you talk about other companies picking stuff up, Arrow should pick up something like The Final Friday. And you know what I mean? Because there was loads of controversy about that movie and loads of documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even been a film made about that. But again, it's kind of like... It's just rights and messiness, like, so...
Like I said, it's a complicated business.
That doesn't look very good CGI. It looks like it's about to blow up. It's...
Spoilers, man.
Well, no, I'm just looking at it and you can go, right, there's some water and that does not belong.
Mate.
It's going to go...
I'm in bed with hot water boiling my stomach watching this film, telling you guys. It's fine. I'm just watching this and just talking, it's fine. I'm not really intrigued with the story.
It's not going to blow. We have a commitment to...
Wait, hold on a minute, lads. There's a story.
I don't... Like, she's not moving anywhere. That boat is clearly rigged up. She's just been told... There you go. She's just been told there to sit there and rev the engine there.
Now, at least that's on fire.
That's not on...
Good.
That's not on fire, Neil.
Shut up, man. It was, it looked like it for a second. That's still a better shot than the fire explosion in Demolition Man.
Which one?
Oh, the one that's in the window.
Oh,
At the very end.
Yeah.
oh, that was a bit of a horse shit. He has to die. He's the one who will sabotage the plan. There she goes. She's not moving anywhere.
No, is that not the point? Is she not supposed to be like revving it so she trap them underneath or something? I'm hoping.
Oh.
I'm just trying to...
It's been mowed to death. Mowed to death like Van Damme in Black Eagle, that. So what do you guys want to do next as this film looks like it's ending?
Well, Right. I don't know what. Paul Ray, you got any examples? Any thoughts?
I want to get a cup of tea. No idea. No idea. I'm free and easy.
No, we're talking about what film we're going to watch. Tumbleweed.
I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna jot some ideas down anyway for Mason and send them over to him.
Cut.
And then me and you, Cole. And then me and you will start on YouTube channel.
What? Paul and Carl? No?
Yeah, that's what it'd be called.
With,
I know.
talking shite with Paul and Carl.
Yeah, again, no, I enjoy doing these because Mason does all the hard work. He's got the equipment,
Obviously, I couldn't give any energy towards like editing and rendering and all this malarkey.
Well, the trick is, I mean, obviously I've been rendering a podcast and transferring footage while I'll do it. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, that's what really inspired to start doing the podcast, because you're multitasking. Do you know what I mean? It's like my computer's doing something in the background, but it's just a low frequency hum. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
No, but what we could do is just stick with the 90s for our next session, which will probably be in a couple of days, I'll imagine.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I'm not like undermining what we're doing, but I've literally got nothing else on. So whatever day you want to pick, whatever film you want to pick, if I can get a hold of the film, if I've got.
There's the same scene. Look, the end scenes again. That's the third time.
Got a yellow jacket on.
Yellow jacket on.
Got a yellow jacket.
And total TV edits.
Credits, right? Here's the thing with credits, right? Why would you do credit so fast?
Because it's TV.
To me, it's like, well, yeah, but why put it if you know the person who pretend? I mean, I might want to see who did all this shit, and I'm not reading all this.
I hate it when films on TV get speeded up just so I can go to the credits. So I can get like, hang on, where's the lovely themes gone? I mean, it's just short. I hate that. That's the reason I'm trying to watch movies on ITV and stuff like that, or BBC.
Killer Wave, 2007. That's what's on next. Well, no, if you could name a film that's done it before, the only film I've ever seen is Jason Statham's Revolver, where that had 0 credit whatsoever. When that film ended, it fades to black, and that's it. There was not a single word afterwards. It wouldn't even cut out. It actually just like footage of black.
That's just more like that's normally going old school, that though, because in the 70s they used to have them very big dramatic intros and have all the credits, and then when it ended, it was it.
It was just black, yeah.
So this has been the podcast for the damn sea vampires, or the Berlin Sea Monster, or the Berlin Sea Beast, or available on YouTube, free of charge, or you can buy it. It's actually free, $2.99 on Music Magpie, discontinued in real time. So this has been with Paul Ray.
Too much.
Well, yeah, I've been Steve Monkey Mason, and that's been Paul Ray.
Bye.
And Carl.
And that's bye from me.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.